Stranded Deep, one of the best survival games out there, which sees you taking on the role of a plane crash survivor stranded in the Pacific Ocean, coming face to face with massive octopuses, great white sharks, loads and loads of other random stuff, building up massive ships if you can get the resources to do that, helicopters, all sorts of crazy stuff. Stranded Deep, in my opinion, is one of the best survival games out there. I absolutely love it. I've completed it several times. We've got tons of content on it back from, 4 or 5 years ago now? It's been out a hell of a long time, and I absolutely love the game. Oh, it came out in 2022, sorry. So that was probably its early access end date, but it was out a few years before that. And over the years, the game has got really progressively better, up until they released it, and it's been a great game. But now it turns out that Stranded Deep 2 is in development, which is great news. I don't know if that's the name they're going with. I think that is the name they're going to stick with. But it's been confirmed now by Beam Team Games that Stranded Deep 2 is deep into its development cycle. They posted this here on their website in August. It's been a while since we checked in, but we've been busy behind the scenes working towards the beginning development of Stranded Deep 2. It was confirmed as part of North Beach Games' press release today that Stranded Deep 2 is in development and Sam has joined NBG as the creative director and CTO. The game will be developed in the new North Beach Games Prague studio, and we're excited to share more information about Stranded Deep 2 as soon as we can. We've learned a lot since we started developing the original all those years ago, and we hope you'll join us on this new adventure. For now, our heads are down and focusing on the early development phase, which is good news. I like that, and there was a press release from North Beach, which basically this is their business. They've released this for their businesses, their shareholders, and talking about what they're doing over the next few years and how they're moving things along and what projects they're working on. Basically, all big companies will do this for mainly their shareholders. So this is how things go up and down in the stock market. These press releases come out and people like what they see, so they invest more, or they don't like it, so they remove their investment from said companies. But quite cool. I like it. This is good. It is coming. Independent publisher is opening North Beach Games in Prague, led by a survival crafting and game design luminaries. So, Stranded Deep 2. We have no real additional news yet. There was something on their Steam page, which is quite interesting, and that is a feedback form, which we will go through that in just a second to see what the team are after and what sort of direction they're going with this. There may be something in that will give us a hint of how they're going to progress forward. I hope it's not sort of a carbon copy of Stranded Deep 1. You're on an island, go to other islands, bish bash bosh. Because, well, they could have just updated the game a little bit better and added maybe a DLC or something. So hopefully there is a bit more of a fundamental change to how the game plays and progresses through its core phases. So they have said on their Steam page towards the start of November, we wanted to take a moment to check in regarding Stranded Deep 2. We're progressing through the early development stages and enjoying exploration and conceptualization of SD2. We're in that amazing game development space where everything and anything is possible. There are many potential exciting directions we can take. We've been reading the forums, checking out posts on Reddit and other socials, and it's fantastic to see that you are all very excited for the game. We love reading your theories about SD2 will take you, and how you're hoping for, and what is going to be coming in the game. The support for Stranded Deep has shown us over the years that has been phenomenal, and we wouldn't be here working on Stranded Deep 2 if it wasn't for you. The feedback from the community is important, and we want to make sure we're staying true to parts of Stranded Deep that made it enjoyable for you to play and learn what we can improve in SD2. So that's good. I like that they're keeping some of those fundamental parts inside the game. So things like being on the islands and exploring and being able to build a raft, I think, was some of my favourite parts about the game. You could build homes if you wanted, you could build massive homes, but taking on the sea creatures, going out into storms, gathering resources was just right up my alley, and I absolutely loved it. A lot of people have compared it to Raft, so if you haven't played Stranded Deep, it's like an amalgamation of Raft and Subnautica sort of rolled into one game. Subnautica was definitely more eerie, gave you a bit more of a fear feel to it, whereas Stranded Deep felt a lot more relaxing. You could just kick back on your island, you could do loads of cool stuff, and that was what I really enjoyed about the game. There was no pressure to do anything. You could just relax, float from island to island, and not have to worry about anything. Whereas in Subnautica, you had to go deep, you had to face terrifying things, which, yes, you do to progress through certain parts of Stranded Deep, but you don't really have to do that. You can experience most of the game relatively easily without ever having to take on some of those challenges, which is great. And I do hope they bring some of that over to Stranded Deep too, but we'll have to wait and see. Over the course of development, we want to check in and ask for your feedback. We've started a short feedback form to ask you some questions about your experience playing Stranded Deep, what you're looking forward to, and some questions that will help us as our community for SD2 grows. We appreciate you taking the time to answer the questions, and the link for this survey, by the way, is in the description down below if you do want to check it. They have said that this is an anomalous... You're anonymous, basically. There you go. It's an anonymous form. You don't have to leave any information about yourself unless you have to. Obviously, it's a Google form, so you will need a Google account. If you've got a Google account, bish bash bosh, you're straight in and you can do it. So we'll check out the form and see if there's any giveaways in there as to what we could potentially see. So it is just the usual stuff. What have you played Stranded Deep on? What version did you play? Did you use mods? How many mods have you used? Which I do think the mod question is a very important one, because a lot of the mods for Stranded Deep definitely enhance the longevity of the game. There were a lot of cool stuff you could do. So I do like the idea that they are looking at what mods people used. So that way they can sort of bring in some of those mods that have worked really well, such as the decorations, different vehicles, and different parts to the actual ships that you can build. So that's cool that they're doing that and including some of the modders in there. They have mainly asked how the performance was and if it affected your game. So, usual questions like how many hours have you played? Have you played single or multiplayer? What did you find favourite? Exploration, base building, raft building, fighting bosses. And then there was one that really stands out. Where would you like to see Stranded Deep 2 set? So I like that idea. They're not going to go with the same sort of format. It's not just going to be in the same place. We could see the same island format, where it's just an island, and then you float around to various other islands. But I quite like that. Hopefully they do change the area a little bit. They also want to know if people want to see it in early access, and whether people will play it in early access. So I don't know. I doubt they'll do a full launch. I think they will keep on with early access. And I mean, most games like this, early access is probably the best title, especially for communities, developers that listen. If they've got that strong community that's not toxic, that is going to leave the feedback, that is a much better place to be for a development studio. So I do like, and I do hope that we get to see some more stuff. The form is in the description down below, so if you do want to check that out, then you can go fill it in, let the team know what you want and what you'd like to see. What do you guys think about Stranded Deep 2? Do you think it's just going to be the same game, reskinned, bit of better performance, bit of better looking, with a few extra bits of fluff thrown in there? Or could it be a completely different game? Obviously, if it is completely different and they're not sticking to that original source, then some people aren't going to like it. So we'll have to wait and see. I do hope that some of those original formats are in there with a good amount of change to make the game feel fresh and not so much of an add-on to the original. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. We are going to wrap that one up there for now. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, let me know down below. I've gassed a lot already, I know. Yeah, once again, let me know down below. For now, though, I've been Wired, you've been awesome, and we'll see you in the next one.